Welcome to this video series on AWS Model Context Protocol. So if you're looking to learn about MCP and how it works in the AWS context, then this is the video series for you. In the first video, I'm going to talk about architecturally how MCP works in the AWS context. Then in the second hands-on video, I'm going to show you how to install Amazon Q CLI. And then finally, in the third video, I will show you how you can use Amazon Q CLI as a client, and then how you can configure it with AWS MCP CloudFormation Server. So now let's get started. So now let's start with something more basic. What is MCP and what is the problem it is trying to solve? So MCP refers to Model Context Protocol. And model here is the large language model that you use to build your AI application. Context here refers to, let's say, you build an HR chatbot application, and to answer the employee query, it needs access to certain enterprise HR data or third-party data. So when you retrieve that data and provide it to the large language model, you provide it some context. And then finally we have the protocol, and we know protocol means certain set of rules which allow you to exchange data between two devices. And in this case, we are exchanging data between the large language model or the model and different data sources, whether internal or external. So MCP is an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to LLMs. Now let's go ahead and try and understand how MCP actually works through a use case. Now let's say we are trying to build a hotel booking AI application using MCP. Now through this example, we're going to understand 5 core components of MCP: host, client, MCP server, transport layer, and tools, resources, and prompts. So let's say for our hotel booking AI application, there are two main backend data sources. One, we have a PDF document in an S3 bucket, which has all the hotel room features, what kind of bed it has, whether it has a TV or not, and so on. And second, we have a DynamoDB where we have stored all the hotel room inventory, which an end user can query. And then we have some tools. Let's say we have Bedrock knowledge bases. We know Bedrock knowledge base is a managed RAG solution from AWS, and we have created one instance of Bedrock knowledge base, which is KBID is equal to 123. And then we have also written a Lambda function, which is able to retrieve the data from this hotel room inventory table. Now we have these two backend data sources, and we have two tools. Now let's say we have a user, Joe, and he poses a question to this hotel booking AI application asking for hotel room features which are stored in this PDF in this S3 bucket. Now this request from the user is going to go to something known as host, and host is basically just any AI application that uses a large language model. And in this use case, it could simply be a chatbot through which this end user is interacting with the application. But since MCP is being used a lot by the coding AI agents, so some of the other hosts could be simply like VS Code, maybe a chatbot as we discussed, or any AI app. Once the request is sent to the host, it will redirect it to the large language model, and in case of AWS, it might go to Amazon Bedrock, and then whichever model that you select, whether it's Claude or Titan, Nova Pro, and so on. Now here mostly you are going to use Converse API. Now if you have not used Bedrock Converse API, it's very similar to the Invoke Model API, but additionally it allows you to send the tools details to the large language model. So if you see here the Converse API, while making the request, you define the model ID. So we are using Anthropic here. Then we are passing the message, which is basically the user query. And then we are also telling the model which are the tools available for this model. And here you can define the tool configuration. So essentially what we are doing here is we are sending the user prompt, and along with that we are also sending through a prompt template what are the tool options available for the LLM to use. And in this case, these are the two tools that are available for LLM to get context. So what Bedrock is going to do is, along with this user request and the tool configuration data that has been sent, it will request to use this tool that we have here, Bedrock knowledge bases with KBID 123. Now this request, the large language model would send to something known as client in MCP terms. And if you can see here, client is embedded in this host. So we discussed host could be a chatbot, or it could be ID like VS Code in case of coding AI agents. And this client maintains one-to-one connection with MCP server, and we're going to talk about MCP server in a bit. Now, what are these clients? So you might have heard about Client or Amazon Q CLI, Windsurf, Cloud Desktop. These are all the clients that MCP supports at this point of time. And you can install all of these clients in your ID or VS Code. And that's why I've written here that this client can be embedded in the host. And you can also have multiple clients in the same host. Now, before we proceed ahead, please note this video series is part of my best-selling Udemy course on Build AI Agents with Amazon Bedrock Agents, Crew AI, and MCP. Please do go ahead and check out this course. The link is in the description. Also, if you're looking to learn Amazon Bedrock and Generative AI, you can also check out my other course on Udemy with more than 20,000 students. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, next concept that we have is servers. So we have the MCP servers, and we have, in this case, AWS MCP server for Bedrock knowledge bases and AWS Lambda MCP servers. So what are servers? Servers are lightweight programs that expose specific capabilities in a standardized format. So these MCP servers are lightweight programs that have been built by AWS, and in most scenarios the MCP servers are built by the tool or service providers. And once these servers are built, there are two ways in which you can deploy these AWS MCP servers or any of the servers provided by different tool service providers. One is sometimes known as a remote, and it's a more recent phenomenon where it's a managed service. And let's say in AWS case, it will be deployed somewhere in the AWS environment. The second and most common one is local system or Docker deployment, where you deploy the server on your laptop itself. And most of the servers available by AWS are available to be deployed locally on your system or laptop. So if you go to this link, awslabs.github.io, you can see all the servers that are available from AWS. And you can see in different categories. So you have AWS API MCP server, knowledge base MCP server. Then for infrastructure, you have CDK, CloudFormation, Terraform. And for AI ML, you have Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases, and then you have Amazon Q Business. And then in the data analytics space, you have for DynamoDB, Elasticsearch, and whole bunch of others. Then you have for cost operations, developer tools, and you can see there are more than 50 plus servers, and you can search each of them from here, from category, workflows, name, and so on. So once this large language model requests the client to go and retrieve contextual data from these backend sources using this tool use KB_ID123, which is for this particular knowledge base, it's going to translate this request into an MCP protocol format. And we'll discuss about what is MCP protocol format in a bit. So now this client makes a request to the server using JSON RPC, and then this MCP server is going to retrieve the data from the backend using these tools, and it's going to send a response back to the client, and this client is going to send the tool use or contextual data to the LLM, and then LLM along with that context and its intrinsic knowledge is going to send a final response back. And in this case, it's going to send the room details that it has retrieved from here to the end user. Now let's just understand a couple of things more for this MCP protocol, how this actually works. Now if you look at the fourth component, we have the transport layer where there's a communication between the client and server. So you can see here the client and server are exchanging information, and for this you need to keep in mind two things. One, so you have the data layer, and here we use the JSON RPC. So we use the JSON data format to exchange data. And then at the transport layer, you have two options. One, we have the standard input or output called as STDIO. Until very recently, we only had this option. And this is mainly used when you're deploying the MCP server on your local system. Now for the remote managed servers, which are deployed, let's say within an AWS environment, you will use the HTTP protocol. And then finally, we have the fifth component, tools, resources, and prompts. Now let's quickly try and understand what these three stand for. So first we have the tools, and these are basically nothing but functions that LLMs can call to retrieve data. And these are the two tools we had in our case. And from the MCP protocol perspective, it's mandatory for these MCP servers to detail out to the client what are all the tools or basically API calls that are available with this server. Next, we have the resources, and resources are nothing but actual data which might be in a database or in file system, which can be used by the model as context. So it's the actual data that is retrieved using the tools. And then finally we have the prompts, and prompts are template that guide how models interact with the tools. So in this scenario, if we look at here, we have a prompt template which includes the user request or the prompt, then defines which large language model we're going to use, and finally also what are the tools available, like what we had here for large language model to use. Okay, so that's pretty much it from this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.